And we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I was actually just going to try an overhead right there, just because I wanted to actually say that I was going to try and beat him with a thrust attack, and I thought he would block it. Hello and welcome back to our Duelist adventures, and we are still down in Aserai territory. I've obviously been doing a little bit of off-screen progression here and there, mainly because what I would like to do is try to get as much, well, basically as much experience as possible. So I've been running around trying to attack as many looters as I can, and as many random parties of various strengths as I can. Obviously, all within auto-resolve, because if I do it without auto-resolve, it just takes too long. Obviously, that's one point, and also it reduces the amount of experience that my own units are going to be getting. So I generally prefer to do auto-resolve against those kinds of people. Thankfully, both of those guys were using spears, so pretty easy for us to block it. Anyway, my main plan, which I believe actually someone mentioned in the comments a number of episodes ago actually, my main plan was to join the Southern Empire and then see where it went, obviously. Now, it seems to be going in a direction where the Aserai will be eliminated first, or at the very least they will be one of the first vassals? No. One of the first factions to be eliminated from the game. As a result, it makes sense for me to assume that maybe there's going to be an opportunity somewhere later in my little adventures down in the desert lands that I might be able to defect from the Southern Empire, and then as a result end up being able to join and indeed create my own faction. That's the kind of thing that I am aiming to do right now, and I believe someone actually mentioned that. So good on you for also suggesting to do that, because that's what I was kind of getting a little bit more confident in my own ability to try and make happen, because obviously you got to think about every single thing. You know, you got to think about unit composition. You got to think about, are my armies good enough to be able to do this? I don't even know whether Najun has any engineering skill, because if he doesn't have any engineering skill, this is going to be a very painful experience indeed. So it might very well be that I need to find a companion potentially with some engineering skill, even if it is on the lesser side, but to find someone nevertheless, anyone that I can get my hands on that has at least about 60 to 80 engineering skill is going to be pretty good to go for, in my opinion. Anyway, we're going to be taking a bunch of recruits here. I'm going to be very selective about what I take though. So basically I'm going to be taking tier 3 and tier 4 units, maybe some tier 2s as well. And I'm going to basically just leave it at that. I'm not going to take the recruits. I'm not going to take the master archers or the hidden hands or the puppeteers or anything like that. Because you can see here the puppeteers, while they are not bad, and they generally are quite good at throwing, because they have these, they only have throwing knives. I actually thought they were equipped with javelins. But anyway, we're just going to let Najun take that if he wants. And generally I will just be taking strong-ish units around tier 3, tier 4 for the most part. So this is where I currently am, as you can see. We're in between Kasira and Hubyar, and I was actually wanting to do a little bit of battling here and there. And you can see that there's a number of Southern Empire vassals in the area as well. I believe there was an army that was formed relatively close by, and I don't know where they've gone. I'm hopeful that they weren't defeated, because if they were defeated, that's pretty bad. Anyway, we're going to continue to fight the good fight, I guess you could say, and try to continue leveling up our one-handed weapon proficiency. And someone actually left a relatively amusing comment about this map. I think someone said that when they spawned into this map, all of their cavalry was dropping from the sky like no one's business. And apparently that was caused by them spawning on a cliff or something, and then they all got murdered instantly. So yeah, that's the kind of reason why this map is a bit weird. We've seen it ourselves in a previous episode as well. A number of glitches and bugs can happen. And, well, it's generally not what you want to see, is it? No, you don't want to see that kind of thing. You really just want to get in there, do some damage, get your experience, get your loot, and then get out. So that's basically what you want. Anyway, we're going to be moving our infantry over here, archers over here. We've got to be a bit careful of things. Ah, yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. This guy's going to be easy to defend against. Not too bad. But, yeah. Anyway. The problem is, I have no slashing through ability anymore. Because obviously, because of Feel the Hit. Feel the Hit is a fantastic mod. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I think it is fantastic. I think it makes all the difference in how enjoyable combat is in Bannerlord. However, it does remove the ability, for the most part at least, to slash through your opponent. And that's the whole point of the mod, obviously. It is to prevent slashing through and unrealistic attacks. But obviously, some of the time, you do kind of want your weapon to slash through, but obviously only because it is a little bit more convenient for you. Because if you're in a situation like I was there, where you're up against a member of the cavalry, and you slash the horse, your blade's not going to go any further than that. You're just going to slash the horse, and that's it. So if they go for a counterattack, then obviously they're going to get a free hit on you, which is exactly what happened. Anyway, Najun's party is losing a couple of people. I did give him a bunch of legionaries and stuff like that as well. So it's a bit disappointing that I'm seeing a bunch of that happen right now, where he's losing a lot of very good-ish units. So that's not exactly great. But anyway, I'm going to take the tier 4s, going to take the tier 3s, going to take the tier 3s, and the last tier 3. Oh, there's actually a tier 4 there too. Okay, that's good to know. And we will just leave the rest. If Najun wants to take those, then he is more than welcome to do so. And we are fine. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't know whether you've noticed, but I created my own army, and Najun is the only member of it. And he actually has more units in his army than I have in mine, which is actually hilarious. I'm not entirely sure why that happened. I think it was probably because I had to give him at least 40% of his maximum army size for him to be able to even be invited to my army. So that's the reason why I had to give him a pretty significant amount. But that's okay. I don't have a problem with that too much. Don't have too much of a problem. Anyway, Xenon is over there. Xenon, I would like to fight you, sir. Ah, there's actually an... Ooh. Ah, I'm thinking we may want to go in here. Serenor, are you coming over? He is. Right. Can I... Serenor, where's Serenor? Is he already in an army? No, he's not. Ooh, now this is intriguing. This is very intriguing. Okay, I'm going to call for this guy, and that's it. And hopefully he's going to... Look, there he is. There he is. Okay, so let's actually just get into a position where we might be able to intercept the opponent. And now, let's see what happens. Okay, come on, guys. Let's do it. Yes. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm not sure whether I should have... Yes, I'm not sure whether I should have gone in just yet, because I'm at 85% HP. I think that should be enough. But bear in mind, let's just take a quick look at the overview of their units. You can see that this guy is the one with the most, and the rest are not really anything to write home about. So we should be perfectly fine here. But things like this have happened before, where we have the advantage, and then it ends up being an utter devastating defeat. So let's try not to have that happen this time. Alright, so they're actually sending out a bunch of cavalry to scout here. You can see this... What? How is he so fast? Look at him. He's just traveling at the speed of light right there. Oh, never mind. Traveling to his demise by the looks of things. Ooh, I really thought I actually got one of them into my slash right there, but no such luck. Oh, that guy's done. Very nice. They have some Crusade Heavy Lancers? I didn't see that in their composition. Interesting. Ah, maybe they were hiding them from sight by putting them at the bottom of their army list or something like that, because maybe I didn't Maybe I didn't look at that. That's interesting. Okay, let's change our infantry into shield wall formation, and we're going to be telling our cavalry to charge in to hopefully intercept the enemy's cavalry and indeed eliminate them. Oh, nice. That was a good slash right there. That's the kind of thing I want to have happen with this sword. Anytime I can get a kill, that's basically all I want. Just one kill. And then another one. And then hopefully another one. And then I can just repeat that infinitely until the enemy is dead. That would be preferable. That would be very preferable indeed. Obviously not dying would be great. Okay, let's just take my cavalry back here. They're getting a little bit too overzealous, which is to be expected, of course. They have the amazing mobility that cavalry is always afforded. And it is very nice for them to be able to run around super fast on flat battlefields. Going to change them from shield wall back into line now so that they can start moving a little bit faster, because as it stands right now, when they're in shield wall, it's a walking pace. And that is a very defensive formation, obviously. It's definitely recommended for them to be a bit slower so that they can more accurately defend for each other with their shields. Unfortunately, when you're trying to walk along the battlefield and get to where your enemy is, a shield wall formation is not the greatest. So, anyway, let's see what we can do here. Gone back into shield wall formation. We're just going to move them a little bit closer, and then my archers should hopefully have a decent time. I'm going to put them into loose. And I believe that is all she wrote. Look at that. Not bad, not bad. Alright, so we ended up losing 24 units, which is actually not even that bad. We did lose... What did we actually lose most of? A couple of infantry here, some spearmen there. Not bad. Oh, wow. Najun actually... Oh, no, that's Satros. Okay, I actually lost quite a... Well, I lost 7 recruits, basically. 2 legionaries, which is a bit unfortunate, but that is minor compared to what it could have been. I know a bunch of people actually have been saying to me that I should charge my infantry in much faster. And yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I definitely understand where you're coming from, but I am doing that completely on purpose. I'm not actually charging them for a reason. I am trying to keep them in as much defensive formation as we can so that our archers can hopefully do the most damage. Let me actually just take a quick look here. I would like to see the statistics and who got the most kills. Alright, so in Najun's army, it looks as though the legionaries and the infantry were getting the most kills, and in my army, well, not in my army, but in our allied vassal's army, the Imperial Sergeant Crossbowman got the most kills, and in my army, I got the most kills, followed by the legionaries. So it seems like maybe indeed it would definitely be a good idea to charge them in a little bit faster than we're currently doing. But that's the thing. The main times when I have ever charged units in, it has always caused problems. And I'm talking about, you know, death and things like that. You know, it's talking about people just charging in, getting themselves killed because they lower their shields, or they attack with reckless abandon, and so on and so forth. So generally, I tend to try and stay away from the charge order, especially... That's probably my warband sort of feeling on it, because in warband, if you would charge, that was pretty much like a death sentence almost, dependent on who you were fighting against, of course. I mean, obviously, if you're playing as Swadia and you have an entire army of Swadian knights, which are the most powerful cavalry, if you don't know, they are the most powerful cavalry in warband. Then if you have an entire army of those guys, they're just going to steamroll the opponent in every single way. But obviously in Bannerlord, that's a little bit different. So yeah, definitely need to start thinking about those kinds of things. I'm going to get this guy, going to dismiss him out of the army so that I don't have to worry about him. Ooh, Kareth is there. Hello. Yes, Kareth is one of my favorite vassals. He's always been extremely, extremely good for us. Especially in... now I can't remember which series. Was it Pelosaur series or was it... I think it was Byron's series. It might have been Byron's series because that was the Khuzait one where we then took over the Aserai, and I think Kareth was down there at the time. Yeah, I think that was it. But if not, then my apologies. You know, sometimes when you create so many different characters and so many different series on the same game, you're going to get a little bit mixed up here and there. Anyway, there seems to be a bit of a siege going on. Hello. Okay, so they have 286 in the garrison here. I think I would like to join this, to be honest. I think it would be a super amount of fun. So I think I will do that. Can I actually do that? No, I can't, because we're going to need to disband the army to do that. Okay, let's just dismiss Najun, and then we'll join the army, and hopefully Najun will stay here. Can he join as well? Can I invite him? I would like to... Can I actually invite... No, I can't invite him. Maybe he'll join? Oh no, he's going away. Don't fight this without me. You imbecile. Oh dear. Now I'm calling him an imbecile, and now he's gonna prove me right, isn't he? Look at him. He's actually got 3 vassals in his prisoner's hold right there. Okay, please, before he gets too far away, could you go in? Could you go into the siege, please? They've already built a battering ram. Oh no, Najun's gonna die, isn't he? I have a bad feeling about this now. Oh no, there he is. Oh, we can see him. We can see him on the world map. Oh yes, I remember that. That's a nice quality of life improvement that the developers added. Oh, that kind of assuages, or shall we say, reduces my anxiety a little bit about him running away by himself. But, I'm still a bit worried, let's just say that, because whenever I've created parties in the past, they have very quickly been destroyed, and I can only hope that that will not be the case this time around. I don't know why this person is wanting to... Oh, no, no, no! Look, see? I knew it. I knew it. Ah, he got himself taken prisoner. And now they're now they're attacking. Are you serious? You know, personally, I feel like there should be a way for one army to merge into the other army. Because that just makes sense, no? Because surely, in the case of, you know, battlefields and so on and so forth, you know, one army is going to be receiving reinforcements, and then, you know, the secondary army is going to come up and be like, hey, you want some reinforcements, and so on and so forth, and then we would, you know, merge the two forces together, which would actually make a whole bunch of sense. But as it stands right now, there's obviously no way to do that, and especially considering my party is just going to go off and randomly do whatever. So the only way that could be fixed is either allowing the merging of the two armies together, or allowing the player to invite their own clan parties or clan members into the army itself. So if you join an AI's army, then obviously you're going to have the freedom to be able to invite Najun, in my case, in comparison to not being able to invite him and him going off by himself to fail in every single way. Now I have to go and get him and then give him better units again. And he had a decent army. Did you see that? He actually had a decent amount of legionaries. Now it's grinding my gears. It's grinding my gears like no one's business. But anyway, gonna wait here until the siege engines are in their rightful positions. Well, it looks as though the battering ram is indeed taking a battering, and I'm not entirely sure if it's even going to be able to destroy the gate. I think it probably will be able to. I mean, if it was at about 20% right now, or 10%, then I'd probably be doubtful, but it's at about 55, so it should be okay. And I believe this is actually the only siege equipment. Oh, there's actually one siege tower, yeah. So the AI built a battering ram and one siege tower. It's extremely strange how they always do that. I don't know why they only build 2. They could build an additional siege tower, and that would make a pretty big difference, but oh well, never mind. Anyway, gonna get my little rolling pin out here and try to do some massive damage to the gate, try and get it down as soon as possible. And now, the main reason, actually, why I wanted to do a siege, and not have Najun get himself killed, obviously, is because of the one-handed weapon proficiency possibilities that exist here. Because obviously, as we have seen in the past, being able to get into a siege and use your one-handed weapon proficiency is extremely, extremely lucrative. And it's definitely something that I've wanted to do ever since that time where we found out we leveled it by like 8 skill points or something like that. Just purely for the fact that I was able to get so many targets and so many different hits on those targets. That's all that I really needed to do. Unfortunately, the enemy is being very defensive for the most part, so it is making things quite tricky for me. But thankfully, most of them are now running away, and they will lower their shields while running, of course, because raising your shield does indeed slow you down a little bit. How much do I actually get for a swing? I get about 200. Ooh, that was 400? Wasn't that 400 or something like that? That's pretty crazy. I think it really depends on speed bonus at this point. I have 196 in one-handed. I'd like to get to 197 maybe. That would be wonderful, but I mean, getting to 200 would be even better. I mean, really, it would. I never thought, actually, that I would get to 200 in any skill without any kind of experience mod being installed, because the native base game experience is pretty slow, and I didn't really actually think that I was going to be getting anywhere close to maximum. But that, yeah, we're not there yet, you know. I think there's still another 75 levels in one-handed weapon proficiency. Isn't there always 275? Isn't it 275 the maximum? I'm not entirely sure about that. But anyway, did I lose any people? That is the one thing that I want to know. I lost 5. Lost Caravan Guard, Legionary. Okay, nothing too bad. Yeah. Did lose a couple of high-tier units, but hopefully we can try to replace those with a couple of tier 4s from here. Unfortunately, those were militia, which I'm not a big fan of. So, yeah. Oh well, never mind, never mind. Okay, so Najun, we're going to need to go on some kind of rescue mission for him now, aren't we? Anyway, at least we were able to capture this town. That's actually pretty good. Let's leave the army for the moment. And what is... Okay, so the defenders... Let me actually just take a quick look here, because if I wanted to create my own faction now... that's the thing. The main reason why creating your own faction is very difficult without having a fief of your very own. Obviously, I do own Chinopsis Castle as far as I am aware. Yeah, I think I still own that. So, yes. The point is, when you're not affiliated with any faction at all... You can't form an army. That's the point. We found that out. So forming an army is, well, basically half of the battle, pretty much. But yeah, anyway, let's have a look here. Increases your map hit points regeneration by 10% while traveling, and foot troops in your party gain +3 experience every day while traveling, and increase your waiting hit points regeneration by 10%. Well, I'm going to be taking Walk It Off. I personally feel like moving around and healing is much better than, you know, standing still. And that's what we'll go for. And yeah, it is 275. Yeah, maximum is 275 for perks. And I would love to be able to get this because obviously combat movement speed is everything to our current character build. So it would be super fun to see how fast we move with that. Anyway, I'm going to recruit some more people here and then we'll move on. Do we have some people that have leveled up? Probably. So let me see if I can get a couple of level ups here and there. Not a huge amount though, as you can quite clearly tell. You're definitely going to need to do more auto resolves if you want to see those people level up much faster. And we got some militia here. What kind of stats do they have? They've got decent stats actually, so I'm going to take them. Actually, that's the wrong way to do it. Thank you. Alright. So, where are those people that actually took Najun prisoner? Because now I have to figure that out. Okay, let's have a look. Najun, where are you, sir? Last seen at Kuyaz. Okay, so in other words, he's been taken prisoner and he's all the way over here. Well, that's going to be quite bad. I have a bad herd problem as well. Have you noticed? Yeah, the reason why I have a bad herd problem is because I was ferrying around a very large army and I needed more horses to be able to support those. Oh, he's actually escaped. Good work, sir. Very good work. Okay, I don't know where he's gone, so that's obviously going to be a bit of a problem, but I guess we'll try to figure it out. Wherever he may be, we will find you, Najun. Thank you. Alright, anyone else? Don't want to take anyone else? Yeah, I guess we could take some tier 3s. Sounds good to me. There we go. Okay, how many spaces do I have? Ah, decent amount. We'll just take all the loot. Thank you very much. Okay, so we saved that guy from a certain death situation. And, wow, a lot of the Aserai vassals are actually looking very much like food right now. We can pretty much just snack on them as much as we possibly like. With the exception of, obviously, the larger armies, of course. But it seems to me like they're not putting up too much threat right now. You know, they're not really that intimidating. So should be all right. Anyway, where's Najun now? I don't know still. He's in Kuyaz, it says, but he's obviously escaped captivity, so he's obviously not in Kuyaz anymore. Right, so the main problem I'm having right now is that I have too many horses. So I'm going to have to get rid of a couple, which is certainly not something I want to do. So let me just lose a couple here. Okay, a couple extras. I guess we'll just lose this. Still that? Really? Huge amount. I've got so many desert horses. Okay, let's get rid of a couple of desert horses then. And I think that should be enough. I don't really care about the money right now. There we go. Now we can catch up to him. Yes, get him. All right, so let's see. We're gonna just do an auto resolve. As you can see, we literally lost no one right now. And we'll just let her go. And then what else do we have going on here? We've got some tier 3s to take. That seems good enough to me. And huge amounts of loot as well. Oh, we're making peace with the Aserai. Oh, okay. Also, the new owner of Iakis is apparently going to be this guy. I'm actually going to spend 60 influence here, mainly because I want to see how much I actually gain. Look at that. We literally gained 600 steward, 4,800 charm skill points. That's insanity right there. That is very, very cool. All right, so some people are saying no to the war effort. Wow, that's actually kind of interesting. Okay, I'm going to say yes. But I don't think it's a good idea, to be honest. I mean, I can't actually influence it any more than this, unfortunately. So you can see it's already going to be a 52-48 split. So me siding on these people's side is actually not going to make any difference whatsoever. So I'll just spend 10, gain a little bit of steward skill, and we're going to be getting 2,220 tribute daily, which is pretty good anyway. So it's not that big a deal. And I have let every single one of my opponents go as well. So I'm not actually losing anything. I've just gained charm skill. And obviously, if Najun was still prisoner, then it would make a whole bunch of sense right now. Oh, he's... Are you serious? He's actually at Poros. He's actually at Poros right now. That is probably the worst possible place that he could be. Oh, well, never mind. Okay. I guess the best thing that I can do right now is maybe do a quest here. Yes, they do have a bandit base. Very nice. I wanted to do a quest where we have to eliminate this bandit hideout. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so this is what the game recommends that we take into the bandit hideout. And I'm actually going to just go with what they say, because I'm kind of intrigued to see how it goes when we just have the units that they recommend. Right. Okay, yeah, so we've got some cavalry with us right here. Oh, hello. You're dead. That guy, we couldn't even swing fast enough when he had the drop on me, and I had my hand off the mouse, actually, because I was gesturing. Can you believe it? Yes. Not in a rude fashion, but you know, just how people generally tend to gesture when you talk. Ah, that happens. That happens. Maybe that's the reason why sometimes I die. That could be it. Could be it. Anyway, I'm gonna just explore these caves, see if I can find some people to potentially duel. And that's the reason why I went off by myself, because I like to potentially duel people. These guys are not putting up too much of a fight though, and they seem to be quite slow at reacting as well. But you can see here we're gaining 336 in one-handed weapon proficiency from these attacks, which is actually pretty good. Not bad, if I do say so myself. I'd like to get some experience here as well. Nice. We're going to duel the guy at the end, by the way, as well, because of course that is our opportunity to gain even more experience. And so far, everything seems to be going quite nicely, but I'm not entirely sure if that is because I am eliminating most of the enemy by myself, and most of the enemies are indeed the lowest of the low tier in terms of Azerite peasants and recruits and so on and so forth, so it actually does not really pose that much of a threat to me as it is anyway. So, you know, even if I were to go up against them by myself, which I personally feel like maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that as kind of like a challenge or something like that. Maybe once we get back to where Najun is, to potentially go and get him to join us again, I'll go into a bandit hideout as sort of like a semi-challenge sort of thing, and we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I was actually just going to try an overhead right there, just because I wanted to actually say that I was going to try and beat him with a thrust attack, and I thought he would block it. I really thought he would block it, but apparently he just didn't want to do that. So, well, that's what happened. Yes, very good, very good. Okay, not going to take the bandits. I don't have Veterans Respect just yet. Hopefully I will be getting it relatively soon, though. Nice charm skill points right there. But otherwise, yeah, we're still relatively far away. Veterans Respect, as you can see, is 150. I was gaining a decent amount of leadership when Najun was with us, but obviously he's no longer here. Yeah, unfortunate. Anyway, this is what the map currently looks like. As you can see, the Southern Empire is now starting to monopolize every single little bit of the Azerite territory that they can get their hands on. The Khuzait are still absolutely monstrous, and they are going like the pace of a steam train against someone on a bicycle. That seems like what it's going on about here. Otherwise, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.